money's not something that's free. Seems the roll of the dice never rolls back to me. And oh, it's already gone. A bird in my hand, 2 cans in the other, start spinning around. Now here comes another, and oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing, and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hang long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. And all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hang long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Whoa, it's already gone. Already gone. It's already gone. Gone.
What is up, Jags fans? I couldn't have even planned that better myself to have the video start at the end of that song. That was legitimately on accident, but that's how awesome it is around here. I am so pumped because we can finally talk about what we think is going to happen with the season. We finally got a schedule. We got some new news coming out about the Jags, so I'm excited to get all into it. If this is your first time watching a live show or rewatching a live show, then we are a fan show. So go ahead and take a minute to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you get notifications so that you can come in here. I kind of want tonight to be you guys telling me what you think about the schedule. I'm really excited because my regular 9-to-5 job is kind of I got a weird schedule, and it's kind of winding down for those of you that have been around the channel for a while. So we are going to be here a lot talking about a lot of things. So I'm excited about that. So tonight I really just kind of want to let you guys talk. I'll give my opinion every now and then. But get in the chat. Tell me what you think about the Jags this year and what you think they will be now that we have the schedule. 3 primetime games, and I get that the Thursday night's a primetime game technically, but we get that every year. So I'm gonna say 2 primetime games. We have a legit Sunday night game and a Monday night game. I can't even tell you the last time a Monday night game. The last Monday night game I remember, and this may not have been the most recent, but I was at the Jags Ravens game when they won 9-6. Was it 9-6? Or I mean, it was crazy, and it was a lot of fun. Those were in some in my wilder days when I did things that I no longer have the capacity to do because of my age. So, great memory of that game, I think. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow the Twitter, the Instagram. I got my own personal Twitter on here because I have another channel now where I talk about politics, which, if I could just take a second here. We had an election here in Jacksonville. I know, listen, I'm not talking about politics right now. I'm not. But we've had Republican mayors for a while here in Jacksonville. And Donna Deegan just won tonight, who's a Democrat mayor of Jacksonville. And why am I talking about this on a Jaguars channel? Because she's going to be the one that negotiates the new stadium deal with Shad Khan. So they're going to have to figure out how much the taxpayers are going to pay versus how much Shad Khan's going to pay. That's actually a big deal. And like, I actually couldn't vote in the election. I'm a St. Johns County resident. I grew up in Duval County my entire life, but when it came to obtaining and purchasing property, I was a little bit wiser to go to St. Johns County. But anyways, Donna Deegan is now going to be the one that negotiates with Shad Khan on this new stadium deal. And Lenny Curry, who came on the radio and as a lame duck mayor, meaning like he doesn't have much time left as mayor, basically said that the Jags may have to play somewhere different for the next 2 years. Now, Orlando came out. I mean, we can take a look at this article here. Orlando came out and said that they wanted to host the Jaguars stadium during renovation. Now, look, the Dolphins, everyone keeps pointing back to the Dolphins. Like, the Dolphins did it. The Dolphins renovated their stadium while playing, in the stadium. So I think it's feasible, and I think it's possible to do. But if we're just entertaining the notion of going somewhere else, Gainesville makes a lot more sense than Orlando. Gainesville's closer. It's like 90 minutes west of Jacksonville. There's a lot of overlap between Gator and Jags fans. The stadium at Florida, the Swamp, actually holds 20,000 more people than TIAA Bank does. So you actually have the capacity to have a larger stadium. Now, as someone that lives in Jacksonville, I don't want to have to travel anywhere. So hopefully they can figure out a way to get the stadium rebuilt here while they play in it. But that's all I'm going to say. But if you do like politics, because I love politics myself, I'm a big political science guy. Follow my other channel. It's kind of, we talk about that, entertainment, sports, culture, things like that. All right, let me get to the comments here. William is the first one in the chat. Says, let's go. Guy says, yo, what up? Yo, Guy. Sea Breacher, who is a channel member, says, yoy. Atzert says, hell yeah, tape time. Robert, we're actually not doing tape tonight. I know. Sorry. We will, though. We will. Sea Breacher says, 6-11 ain't bad. King David, Duval, let's go. That's it, man. Robert Atchert, 12-5 is better. What games? Charlie Boy says, what games are you going to? Well, let's take a look at the schedule here. Okay. So I go to every home game. So you can just go ahead and pencil me into every home game. So even preseason. So we're not going to go to the preseason, but we're going to go to regular season. So I'm going to go to Kansas City. I'll be at Houston. Atlanta and Buffalo, these are the London games, correct? So that's London, so I will not be at those games. As much money as I have, which, just kidding, it's not a lot. I can't afford to go to London. If any of you guys, we got a lot of young London fans, UK, Patrick Jackson, I know he's going to watch this show in the morning. If you guys get some kind of hookup, or if I get a ticket for free, I'm hitting y'all up to sleep on your floor. All right, so be ready for that call. Definitely be at Indy. I wish I could go to New Orleans. That is we're gonna put a little asterisk by this. Is that a good asterisk? We'll come back to that. Pittsburgh, nah. You can't. You won't catch me dead in Philadelphia. Definitely at the home San Francisco. Definitely home Tennessee. We'll put an asterisk by Houston. Definitely Cincy. No to Cleveland, even though I have family in Akron. Baltimore, definitely. Tampa, asterisk. And Carolina. Okay, so we have all the home games I'm going to be at, 100%. Now we have the asterisk. I like to make one road trip every year. So every year I go on the road and watch a game. Last year I went to Kansas City for the playoff game. So I think this year I'm actually torn between New Orleans, Houston as because I don't take vacations. This would be my vacation trips. So I'm definitely going to either go to New Orleans or Houston. New Orleans sounds like more fun, but I have family in Houston. So it kind of figures out like which one can I figure out to be the more economical choice. And then I'm definitely going to the Tampa game, 100%. So I'll be at those. So, yeah. We'll come back to the schedule in a second. I just want to get to some of your comments here. Sea Breacher, I was talking about the Magic picks, not our record next year. LOL. Let's hope for 12-5. I know, picking 6-11. Okay. I see what you mean there, dude. The NBA is so rigged, bro. They're really gonna give the San Antonio Spurs the first pick. Come on, dude. They're throwing Papa a bone there. Well, you know what's funny, and I'm not going to rant about basketball, but it's funny. All these coaches are getting fired. Doc Rivers, the Phoenix Suns coach getting fired. Like, all these guys getting fired, and Popovich is still... Popovich and Eric Spoelstra just seem to be the two that are untouchable, and they're probably considered the two best NBA coaches. Duval TV says Duval. Seaton Sesko says United. What up? Seaton? We could have used you in our final game of the year. We lost. Our soccer team ended up with only 3 wins this year. But here, not my fault. We had some situations. We had a young team, a really young team, and the only kids that I had that were like really good players are on these high-level club teams, and like oftentimes their club team games would interfere with their school team games. And when parents are paying thousands of dollars for a club soccer team, like, I don't blame them for taking their kids to the club game instead of the school game where they pay a tiny athletic fee. So, but Seaton, we're coming next year. We're getting a little bit older. We're getting there. Abrima John says, add D-Hop and go to the next level. No way. We got a Monday night game, says Guy. Yeah, 10-7, 11-6, in my opinion, says King David. I think we should add Jan back, says 100 miles per hour. I think they will add a speed rusher at some point. Orlando was about the business, but Gainesville makes the most sense, and it's the closest. Now, me personally, as a big-time homer, I'm a University of North Florida graduate. I would love to see the Jags just dump 100, 200K into UNF Stadium and make it sustainable there. But don't think that'll happen. But if I was UNF's AD, and I may clip this to UNF and send this to UNF's AD, Nick Morrow, who I like. I think he's done a lot of great things. I liked the move to beach volleyball versus going to lacrosse, which is something that was kind of, people that, looked at. I like the renovations the UNF did to their arena. Very nice for the boosters. I'd love to see him make a push and like make a serious push. Like, come on, like, you have the ability to maybe rebuild your stadium and potentially have football. William says, I'd rather Jags playing Gainesville over Orlando. Raw Jeebs, what up, Raw Jeebs? Raw Jeebs hits me up on Twitch sometimes. My Twitch is on there. If you're into Twitch, I'm a little gamer sometimes. So get on there, talk Jags, while I just get murked by some like teenage kids who all they do is play games. Says Skip Bayless sounding like a prophet. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but you have to let me know. Gator Stadium is the way to go. Finally made a new one. Also love the new channel. Thanks, Cam. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you. Channel member Cam Boisvert. Primetime, baby, says Callie Jack. Boisvert says live. Okay, I got you. Base Mover. What up, Base? Says 12-6, dub. Jeremy Price says, if you could make one change to anything about the schedule, what would you do? Not playing London. And look, I'm not going to go on a London tirade here. Okay, I'm not. I'm gonna look. I got a timer. Okay, I'm 13 minutes and 24 seconds in. I'm gonna spend 30 seconds on London. That's it, just 30 seconds, and I'm looking at my timer. Okay, because I did not want to do this. I did not want to talk about London at all. Okay, because my opinion is unpopular. Okay, but I'm just gonna lay it out. I'm just gonna lay it out for you guys. I'm a critical thinker, and hopefully you're a critical thinker too. Okay, so everyone that I'm hearing in the local media is saying that, like, trust me, we're boots on the ground. We know the situation. Jags 0% chance they're going to London. Like, 0. They're hard stuck on that, and I'll take them at that. Like, they are there. They are boots on the ground. They do here. I do believe that. They think there's a 0% chance the Jags ever move to London. Now, I am not saying I think the Jags are moving to London, but I don't think 0% is the right term, okay? And I don't think taking this hard line stance of they'll never move is the right way to do it. And here's why. Okay, I'll explain quickly. Okay, Shad Khan is an international businessman, like international businessman. Like, he travels all over the world, has businesses all over the world, even owns sports teams in London. Okay, so people, like, the big argument is this that I've heard from the national media. He's investing in the Miller Electric facility. He rebuilt the practice facility, the indoor practice facility. He's renovating the stadium, and he's building a Four Seasons. All great points. Listen, all great points. Those are actual things that he's doing in Jacksonville, okay? But let me just go through each one, okay? The two things that he's actually done and is completed or close to completed is the practice facility indoor and the Miller Electric training, whatever it is, Miller Electric, whatever. Okay, both great things, but I think combined, those are like $300 million combined in money invested. $300 million, that sounds like a lot. Okay, stay with me here. The Four Seasons would be profitable in Jacksonville regardless of the Jaguars. So that's an investment that Shad Khan probably would make sans the Jaguars, meaning like if the Jaguars weren't here. And the final thing is the stadium renovations have not even been agreed to yet. The city hasn't even agreed to let him do it if he wanted to do it. Okay? So we're looking at a total of $300 million that Shad Khan has invested into this city for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a drop in the bucket of his portfolio. And if you think that he would, and here's the problem. Shad Khan's really petty. People do not realize how petty Shad Khan is. Go read his Wikipedia. Go look at what happens when he started his own car bumper company. He got sued by his former company that he worked for, that he was making car bumpers for. He countersued, won the countersuit, and then took their company in the lawsuit. And let me give you one better. He's not a lawyer. He represented himself in the civil suit. He read, educated himself, and represented himself in court and countersued and won and became a billionaire. That's how petty this man is, okay? So I'm just saying, to say 0%, I don't know if these people know Shad Khan. And here's the problem, and I've said this a billion times. I don't think Shad Khan, I don't think any of us could get in the mind of Shad Khan. Billionaires don't think the same way as everyone else. $1 billion is a lot of freaking money, okay? They do not think the way we do. Like, we connect the dots in our brain. Oh, he did this, and he did this. That's not how they think. I'm just telling you right now. It's not how they think. And unless you're a billionaire, you won't know how they think. End rant. Let's take a look at the schedule here, all right? Ron Beecher says, hey, buddy, how you doing, Jason? Contrary to me seeming like I'm worked up, and again, I do not think the Jags are moving to London. And again, here's why I'm saying it. I think the city of Jacksonville needs to kind of play ball with him and be like, yo, we'll help pay for some of this. If the city of Jacksonville is like, no, you owe it to us to pay the entire bill for the stadium, I don't think that's a good strategy. And I hope that's not what Donna Deegan does. But I think if she does, what's to stop Shad Khan from saying, all right, we'll play half our home games in London, half our home games in Jacksonville? That's not a full move, but that would suck. That would suck a lot. And the indoor practice facility and the Miller Electric facility would still benefit him if he's playing half his home games in Jacksonville and half his home games in London. So I say all this not to say anything bad about Shad Khan, but I say, like, city of Jacksonville, city council, mayor, like, you may have to give a little bit to keep the Jaguars here, because there's only 32 NFL teams, and like 4 of those are in the same cities of each other. So you look at the amount of cities that have NFL teams, it would be a shame if we lost the Jaguars even half of the season because the city was like, we don't want to raise taxes we need to put the money somewhere else. No, we need to put the money into the stadium. I'm telling you right now. King David says, as for the Jags in London, I can see them playing more away games there over the next 5 years or so. I heard today from Ron Beedry, a lot of other teams are trying to get their brands to be international. Mr. Khan is ahead of the curve. Okay, I do like that. I do like that. Sea Breacher says, I just want Tony Khan to be the owner. I like Shad Khan. I mean, after watching that scheduled release video, it's hard not to like him. Colin Coward said that we would have the #1 seed. Oh, I like it. I didn't see that, Robert. Nice. I sure hope not. Robert, that's why new mayor needs to move on this build out. Yeah, I agree 100%. And don't make fun of me for using a straw, okay? I know what y'all are thinking, okay? I have a lot of money in this computer setup here, and the last thing I need is for my clumsy behind to spill a full drink all over this computer. Ron Beedry says, the best thing Jacksonville has is the Jaguars. Who would vote for someone that is not pro-Jacksonville Jaguars? So I listened to Donna Deegan. She did a candid, I guess it was like a town hall, but it was on the radio. And she talked about what she would do if she was mayor, and that she would bring in people that have had experience negotiating deals with owners, NFL owners in the city. So that did bring me some optimism. Okay, Daniel Davis wasn't in, the guy who ran against her wasn't in the interview, and I've met Daniel Davis honestly personally, and I mean, I don't know how much that guy would have actually done with his own. I don't know, but we'll see. I will go to war for the Jaguars, says Duval. All right, let's take a look at the schedule here. All right. This is the Jaguars' regular season schedule. We'll go one by one. I hate preseason predictions. I hate them. I think it's so stupid. I think it's clickbaity. If you want to say how many games you think they'll win, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I love that. Like, tell me how many games you think they'll win. But to go through each game and be like, oh, they're going to win this one. Oh, they're going to win this one. That's so stupid. It is so stupid. We've learned every year not to. Okay. I'm on one tonight, boys. 2022 Jaguars schedule. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. This is my point I'm trying to make. This is 2023. Let's go 2022. I didn't realize it was this easy. Okay. Think about what you were thinking preseason. Okay. You were thinking the Commanders was an easy win. And what happened? We lost. Okay. Colts, we didn't know. We thought we would win that. The Chargers, we thought we'd probably lose, and we won. Okay. Philadelphia was good, so we'll wash them out. The Texans, we all thought the Texans stink. Easy win. What happens? We lost. Okay. The Colts, oh, that's easy, right? We won the first one. What happened? Oh, we lost the second one. All right, New York. Okay, they're rebuilding. They're no good. We're going to win that one. Loss. All right, Denver, they had Russell Wilson. They could be good, and we'll probably lose that game. Then what happened? We realized that Denver sucked, and then we still lost that game. So, again, no way you could have predicted that preseason. Vegas, we thought they were pretty good. We thought the whole AFC West was good. They sucked. We won that game. Kansas City, close game. We lost. Baltimore, great team. We probably would have thought preseason we were going to lose that game. We won. Detroit, Jared Goff, he sucks. We're going to win that one. What happened? We lost. So you're seeing my point here. If you look at this team by team preseason, it's stupid. It makes no sense because when the season actually starts, the teams are going to be completely different than what we thought preseason. That being said, we're going to do it real quickly right here. All right, Colts, week 1, September 10th. I think this is an obvious win. You have probably Anthony Richardson starting in his first game. I think it's a win. As more time, initially I would have said Anthony Richardson is not going to. Oh, good steal. I'm watching the Rays-Mets game. Initially I would have said that Anthony Richardson is not going to be a good NFL player, and I watched a lot of him. I watched a lot of Gator games. Okay, Rays just got another run. As time has gone on, I kind of like Anthony Richardson. I kind of like the hype. I don't know. I'm buying in. Matthew McCray says, "Go Rays! Let's go, baby, dude. The Rays are on a tear, dude. We didn't have a great series against the Yankees, but looks like we're doing pretty well against the Mets. All right, Kansas City. This is a rematch game. Okay, this is a rematch game. Listen, we lost to the Chiefs twice last year, right? This is time. Again, Atzert says it. Kansas City coming home to the Jags. It's going to be hot. It's probably going to be humid. So that's going to give us an advantage. And listen, the Jaguars are 12-4 when playing a team that they lost to that went on to make a deep playoff run the following year. I totally made that stat up. That's completely incorrect. And even if it was correct, why would you care if we were 12-4? What does Mark Brunell and Fred Taylor have to do with what happens with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne? Exactly. Don't fall victim to stats. People will use stats against you to try to manipulate you. Kansas City. I'm going to say win. Houston. Sure, Bryce Young. Not Bryce Young. Ohio State guy. Ohio State quarterback. CJ Stroud. Probably trying to figure it out. That's a win. Okay? All right. We look at London games. Okay? This is where it gets kind of tricky. Now, we have the experience. I know that Lakers down 10. I need to turn that game on here. I got one more inning. I know we have experience, and Doug Peterson said that he's not worried about playing in London back-to-back weeks at all. That's interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think Atlanta, although trending in the right direction, I think the Jags take the win there. Now, second week in a row in Buffalo, that's going to be tough. I've been a full week in London. Your sleep schedule's off. You probably haven't been eating right. This feels like a trap game. But Josh Allen always goes off against Josh Allen, so we are going to say a W there. All right, now this is actually one that I'm worried about here, okay? This is the Colts. I know, this is what I said, Anthony Richardson, he's the type of player that could surprise you. Listen, we've been 2 weeks in London and then coming back and playing immediately on Eastern Standard Time. I think this could be a trap game. I think this could be it. But the Jaguars, they come around and they find a way to win. W. Let's go, baby. All right, at New Orleans, Thursday night. They've been in London for 2 weeks. They come back. They get their they got jet lag. They beat the Colts. Then they have to go to Thursday night against the New Orleans Saints. Not worried, baby. Prime time. Give me the W right there. All right, Sunday, October 29th at Pittsburgh. All right. Robert Etheridge says first loss is the Saints. No, disagree. At Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin, great coach. Kenny Pickett, doesn't scare me. Win. Bye week, excellent. Let's get some sleep, boys. Let's take it easy. Versus San Fran at home. Now, San Fran's a good team. They're well coached. You guys know me. I have a weird thing for Kyle Shanahan. I love the offense that he runs. I love the utility of a tight end and a fullback and an H-back and a move tight end and a wide tight end. I love it all. I love it all. I love the offense. I love that he does. That being said, I think San Francisco's taking a step back as far as a quarterback, like Trey Lance, like what's going on there. They just lost Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'm going to say a win here. All right, first game against the Titans. Interessante, who's starting? Is it Will Levis? Is it Tannehill? Like, what's the deal with Derrick Henry? Like, I could see a situation where Tannehill and Derrick Henry are traded by the bye week. If the Titans don't start off well and the Jags are obviously starting 9-0, then I can see a situation where they're traded, so they're probably tanking. That's a win. All right, Houston. I like it. C.J. Stroud. I mean, I actually like the receivers they have there. At Houston, 1 o'clock, near Thanksgiving. That's a win, baby. We're all thankful for the Jags. Don't move, Shad. All right, versus Cincinnati. Okay, now this is our Monday night primetime game at home. You guys, you already know that I'm taking off December 5th from work. You already know, because I will not be in any shape or capacity to work the next day. It's going to be rocking. Jags show up on primetime. Win. All right, at Cleveland. Deshaun Watson. This is probably. I saw a power ranking where we were 14th in the power rankings. Like, stupid. All right. No way. That's a win there. Baltimore. All right, I get it. Lamar Jackson. All right, Lamar Jackson. Good quarterback, but we all know what happens when players get paid. When players get that fat contract, they mail it in. They don't work as hard because they've made it. They've reached it. I don't blame them. If I got that kind of contract, what was it, 220? I wouldn't work. I wouldn't work either. Lamar Jackson takes the season off. Win. All right, Tampa Bay. I'll be at the game. Tampa Bay doesn't really have their quarterback situation figured out at all. I think they're kind of in that situation where they may be tanking for Drake May or Caleb Williams. No quarterback. That's a win. All right, so now we're coming down to the final 2 weeks of the season. Carolina. What has Bryce Young done? He looks a little small out there. And they did overperform, but I just don't think they have the firepower to compete. That's a win. All right. Sunday, January 7th, final week of the season at Tennessee. It's going to be cold. But again, they're in full rebuild mode at this point, and that's a win, boys. And there you go, baby. 17-0, undefeated Jaguars. Let's go, baby. That's it. That's it. We're going to set a record for the most wins ever in a regular season. Trevor Lawrence is going to go to the Hall of Fame after this year, and 17-0 with no losses at all. Maybe the Kansas City game's close. I talked about the trap game against the Colts. Sorry, 17-0. And if you disagree, I'd love to hear your points. Duval TV donated $10 and says the Jags going to pop Burrow top. Yeah, Burrow's due for some humbling, isn't he? He is due. So I say he comes here. Thank you, Duval TV, for the $10. I appreciate it. I love it. 17-0. 17-0. So love to hear your thoughts. If you think I'm wrong. If you do think I'm wrong, then sorry. Too bad. Too bad. Ron Beedry says 17-0 in best draft show ever. That's it. Duval 17-0. King David's laughing at me. King David, don't come. 17-0, baby. Come on. It's easy. Super Bowl says, Steven Salvador. What up, Steven? Timmy Devil says, Cleveland is no slouch. Deshaun Jackson is our daddy. Psh, I'm not worried about that, Timmy. Don't bring your realism in here. Duval TV says Super Bowl. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, on a real note, I mean, I like the schedule. I don't like the London setup. I really wish that the Jags could have gotten a bye after those London games. But apparently the NFL is supposed to be like pretty accommodative of NFL teams when they ask for buys if they go to London. And so I figured Doug Peterson maybe didn't want the bye. And, the week 9 bye, if you think about it, is dead smack in the middle of the season. So if you're playing the probability game, probability would tell you that you need your rest right dead smack in the middle of the season. And so I'll take it. And maybe that's what they're doing there. Steven Salvador says, do you think we're going to the Super Bowl? So the AFC is going to be tough, man. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC. Really, when it comes down to going to the Super Bowl, it's really not so much about talent. Now, obviously, you have to have talent. But it's more about who can stay healthy. And I know that sounds crazy, but like whoever can stay the healthiest ends up being the best team. Every team's going to have injuries, but can you avoid those massive injuries to those massive players? And that's really what you have to do. So it's really what it comes down to. So if the Jags can stay healthy relatively, then I think that there's no reason why they can't be in the Super Bowl. I thought they had a decent chance last year, and I think they're better this year. So by that logic, transitive property, yeah, why not? Brandon says Kansas City will be the first loss. That's week 2. So you think we'll come out 1-1? Listen, that's probably logical. When will you do the draft breakdown, Matthew? Yeah, so that's on me. It's coming out. I mean, I have the Anton Harrison one pretty much done. I'm just waiting to put it out. I wanted to do a live show about the schedule tonight. Doug said he didn't want the bye after that and in the season too early. Yeah, Ron, that makes sense. And we will be wiped on short week by the Saints. Yeah, that Thursday night. But again, I mean, you never know in the NFL, man. And the Saints aren't that good. Like, the Saints really are. Like, what is the Saints even depth chart right now? Saints depth chart 2023. All right, let's take a look here. Like, Olave and Chris. Okay, Michael Thomas. Okay, I kind of forgot they had those guys. Derek Carr. I forgot about Derek Carr. Brian Brise, that's what everybody wanted. Yeah, I mean, they're Tyrann Mathieu. Okay, Marcus May. They may be better than people think. Okay, I'll give you that. Offensive line is going to be an issue for them potentially. Like center, guard, tackle. Cesar Ruiz is on last year of his deal. Juwan Johnson. Taysom Hill. That's hilarious. Storm Norton. Yeah, I mean, look, they drafted a lot of linemen, drafted a lot of offensive players. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. 17-0. You're damn right. We're going to the Super Bowl. That's right, Ron. That is right. Let's go. Yeah, McCray. Yeah, I like a lot of our players now. I kind of see what Trent Baalke was doing now. And Watson had 7.5 yards in the preseason. And wasn't that his first game though? Okay, he was bad, but I think that was his first game back. Who is the biggest we will make who is the most important if Trevor is out? If Trevor's out, we're out. I mean, what do? You go out, you can go pick up Matt Ryan. CBS, it was ESPN analyst. I don't know. Oh, I do want to take a second here talking about Chris Claybrooks, okay? I'm glad. Chris Claybrooks was just, I haven't gotten into really what happened, but he was charged with like domestic assault and vandalism, and we mentioned it here on the show, and it has been mentioned in other things, and like the charges were dismissed. So I'm not saying that he's innocent by any means of not doing anything, but I do think it's fair that if we're going to bring up that somebody was charged, that it's also fair that we bring up that the charges were dropped. So Claybrooks, charges dropped. In my mind, innocent until proven guilty. He's not proven guilty, so I'm not going to change my opinion, Chris Claybrooks. I just wanted to take a second because I think it's only fair to do that because I think as a society sometimes, I'm not getting on a soapbox here, but as a society sometimes we can harp on the negative, and then when things come out about it being positive, we don't really talk about it. It's not as clickbaity. You gotta be careful, boys. You gotta be careful. Other Jags news, Sammy Reyes, tight end, signed by the Jags. He's 6'5", 260 pounds. Big boy. Real big boy. He's 27 years old. He was drafted in 2021 in the 4th round, and he's from Chile, like the country of Chile. So that's pretty cool. Don't know if he'll make the team. I do know we need tight ends, and we're not really – I mean, I know we have Strange and we have Ingram, but they like Farrell, but do they keep Ford? I mean, I don't know. I think the guy has a shot to make the team, especially if he's a blocking tight end. I don't know how much Farrell can block, and it may take Strange a second to get acclimated to the NFL. I mean, I don't know. The other guy we picked up, Jacob Harris, 6'5", 211. So that's 2 6'5" people. So both of the people we picked up in this week were both 6'5". So that tells me that Doug Peterson wants some of that jump ball, big body guys in camp. Maybe that's to practice against guys like Travis Kelce and things like that. I'd like to think that's what was happening. So in that situation, yeah. Another cool fact about Jacob Harris is he didn't play organized football until his senior year of high school, and he actually had like scholarship offers to play soccer. Can you imagine a 6'5", 211 soccer player? I mean, he went to UCF, 4th round pick. I like it. That's why we drafted a tackle number 1, because Trevor is number 1. Good point, Ron. We got the best XFL backup. Yeah, I liked that. Duval, I use Clay Brooks on Madden because he has 94 speed. We'll have to play some Madden sometimes, Duval TV. I've only played a few times recently, but when the new Madden comes out, we'll play. Don't make fun of me for the straw, okay? I'm a little insecure. Matthew McCray, also very high on the safety. Antonio Johnson had him as 2nd or 3rd best safety. He just doesn't play the nickel. Yeah, he's going to be like that down in distance, extra box linebacker. Like, he's actually going to come in for Aluakon. He's going to come in for Devin Lloyd on those situations where there's a little more speed on the field. But he's essentially a small linebacker. I mean, that's what he is. So, yeah, I mean, don't get too caught up in like the position that he is. Don't do it. Don't do it. Coaches don't care. Players don't care. Just because he's a safety on Madden doesn't mean he's going to play a traditional safety role. I think he'll play more of a traditional outside linebacker role in certain situations. I think he'll be good at it. Clay Brooks ripped phone out of girlfriend's hand and broke phone, and her hand got bruised. I don't know. You got to have self-control. Now, I'm not going to get on him for being guilty of a crime, but I mean, I don't know. Just figure it out, man. Figure it out. I mean, have some self-control. I'm a very patient person, right? It's like I work with students. I'm very patient, right? I get that some people aren't, and that they have short fuses, and that they explode. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around, and again, I'm not judging. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around people who don't think before they act. And so it's hard for me to like exonerate in my mind or to give a pass to people who like don't think before they act, because that seems like a basic sign of maturity. So if you're bruising her hand, bro, come on now, like relax. Like, nothing's happening. Nothing's that serious, bro. It's not even your wife. It's your girlfriend. Like, it's not even your wife. You're not even legally committed to her for the rest of your life. Why are you getting that mad? You're an NFL player. Ron Beecher says we also have that tight end they got last year from Notre Dame, undrafted. Yeah, I forgot his name. Duval TV, I'm excited for Strange, Harrison, Tank, and Washington, and Miller on D. Yeah, I'm excited for all those guys too. The Jags' final roster cuts are going to be hard this year, and that's how you know you're a good team, Kyle. That's how you know you're a good team, for sure. Thoughts on the fullback Parrish? I can't find much fullback tape for him. Yeah, me neither, but he looks like a beast. I like it. Big boy. Salvador says, got to go to bed. Good night. Good night, Steven. Yeah, go to bed. Get some sleep. I have smashed like 10 phones being bipolar. You don't think... Oh, okay. So you're talking about... I obviously can't speak about something like bipolar. I can't. That would be something that a medical doctor would have to. So maybe I'm not being fair in considering some sort of mental issues. Maybe that's fair. And again, I said, I'm not judging. I just can't wrap my mind around it. And maybe that's why. All right. Shaq Griffin gets signed by the Colts or the Texans. How fitting is that Shaq Griffin gets signed by the Texans? You know what's funny is he'll probably end up with an interception against us. Like, you know it's going to happen. Like, we're still going to win. But you know Shaq Griffin's going to get a tip ball interception. And you know it's going to blow up on Twitter, and everyone's going to be like, oh, Shaq Griffin got an interception. You know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. But listen, I'm always rooting for people. I don't wish bad against anybody. I kind of hope Shaq Griffin has a little bit of a bounce back. Not against the Jags. I want him to be terrible against the Jags. But I wouldn't mind seeing him just for the sake of his family and like his reputation to have like a step up, because he took a massive shot to his reputation and ego in Jacksonville, being like a huge bust in free agent signing. And I hate seeing that for any athlete. So maybe a step up, just not against us. Duval TV says Parrish said he can play DN too, but his NFL players think they can play everything. 100%. I saw a YouTube show today where they talked about the tackle they picked up in the 7th round and said he's going to be on the team for 10 years. Is that good as a guard? Yeah, was it Appalachian State, I think he was drafted from? Good. Listen, they found like Walker Little kind of as like a diamond in the rough-ish type player if he ends up being a starter. So, maybe. 100 miles per hour says, I feel like Trent was trying to keep the same team but make our depth way better. Yeah, I mean, you don't see teams keep as many players as the Jags did. That was very impressive to me. I mean, I figured they were going to lose Juwan Taylor and Evan Ingram, and so they only lost Juwan Taylor. Matthew McCray says, my boy Dax Holyfield got an interception in rookie minicamp, and they grew up in the same town. Heck yeah, dude. I love hometown people. That's why I root for Will Mallory. Even though he's on the Colts, I'm rooting for him. He's a hometown guy. I coached him. Carson Beck, hometown guy. I got to coach at Georgia. I root for all those guys, dude. When it comes to college football, and I mean, come on, they're amateurs. Maybe not for long, but for now they are. Robert Atcher says Shaq is going to get toasted by Ridley again. Yeah, he probably is. Oh, the Rays just got hit by a pitch. Gabriel Ace Vito says, it is exciting to see so many potential players at the bottom of the roster, expecting to see a special player or two come out of nowhere in the same manner that James Robinson did. I love that. That was a well-formulated comment there, Gabriel. Yeah, I wish you would comment more often, right? That was beautiful. I like that. And I agree with you 100%. I love trying to guess who the person could be. But again, you never know. Kyle Durbin. Shaq has been practicing against Trevor for 2 years, watching him pick us off twice. That's going to be our luck. Yeah, he was watching. He definitely wasn't playing. That's for sure. Definitely watching. Beatrice says, we lost Taylor, but I feel his replacement will be better. You know, we have hope this time of year. Yeah, I mean, that's true. We haven't had hope. I mean, we had hope in Trevor when we knew we were going to get Trevor. And, like, I knew that he was going to be generational. And if you go back and watch any of my shows, and you guys that are here watch my shows all the time, I've been saying and preaching that we need to do everything to protect Trevor. I wanted an offensive lineman. When we did the mock draft show, we took Osiris Torrance because we just, again, and maybe Osiris Torrance isn't a first-round grade, but we all in this mind melding the fact that we got to protect him. We got to protect Trevor, and this team goes as Trevor goes. And I say that probably every show. But I love it. They went pretty much all offense. And specifically, they may have gone offensive run, if you think about it, because they drafted Tank Bigsby. They drafted Strange, who's a blocking tight end mainly. And they drafted a guard and a tackle and another tackle. So it seems like Doug Peterson didn't run the ball last year because he couldn't run the ball last year. Now, we all thought that Doug Peterson didn't run the ball last year because he didn't want to run the ball last year. But based on this year's draft and the type of players that he drafted, it kind of seems like that he wanted to run the ball, but that he couldn't run the ball. So I'm excited to see the running game will obviously take pressure off of Trevor, and it would make Trevor, obviously play actions are going to blow up if you have interior linemen that can actually block if you have for the run, obviously. If you have a running back that can hit the hole hard like Tank Bigsby can, and no disrespect to ETN or Hyde, but they're not guys that hit the hole hard and fall forward. They're just not. Tank Bigsby is. So Strange. I mean, I love Evan Ingram. He's not going to blow open any holes for you in the C gap or the D gap, okay? So you need to have a guy like Strange that can do that. And if that's his value, then that's his value, and I'll take it. So excited to see what could happen there. Definitely trying to help the run. Duval TV says Shaq is a bum. I typically stay away from saying things like that because that's a relative term. And I know you meant it relatively. Like if you or me tried to foot race Shaq Griffin, he would torch us. And but I know what you mean. Relative to other NFL corners who get paid what he's paid, bum is probably a fair term. After it says Peterson is really stacking this team. Now we have both top raw athletics score tight ends, free agents with no reps. Yeah. I mean, he obviously likes athleticism and things like that. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's take a look at this. Just a couple more things here. Pro Football Network ranked us 14. And I just want to comment on this one for a second because I think this is horrible. Now, KC, they won the Super Bowl. Philly, they were in the Super Bowl. That takes no balls or courage to say that. Cincy, like, how much better is Cincy than us? Now, if you want to say that they're better than us, that's probably fair. They've had more success. Their track record's better. They have more wins. But I like our coach better. I like our quarterback better. I know most people don't, and that's fine. I don't think they're far apart if they are. I know they have good receivers. Their line is kind of in shambles. I mean, I know we were looking at Jonah Williams, bringing him in, but like, okay, so fine. I'll give you Cincy. I'm not giving you San Francisco. Who's their quarterback? Trey Lance? No, sorry, buddy. Buffalo, I get why Buffalo's here. I'll give you Buffalo. Dallas. Are you kidding me? Now, I understand that these articles and these writers, they understand where the clicks and views are coming from. And I hate to say this, but there's probably double the clicks coming in from Dallas as there is from Jacksonville. It's just a population thing. It's a historic thing. I mean, my dad was a Cowboys fan before the Jags were, and he's from Ohio and moved to Jacksonville. So Cowboys have like that America's team thing, and I get that. But no, not better than us. The Jets, I get it, Aaron Rodgers, but who did he bring? I mean, come on. They're not that much better than the Jags, but I'll give you that because Aaron Rodgers, although had a terrible year last year, I'll give you that. Baltimore, terrible. Are you kidding me? Oh, they were injured last year. Oh, cool, everybody was. Seattle, not even going to entertain that. Not even for a second. So you think Seattle's better than the Jags? Get out of here. Miami, I get the fact that their quarterback was injured, and if he was injured, I'll give you that. I will give you. And I will even give you Detroit. Now, I think the Jags are just as good as Detroit, Miami, and the Jets, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. I think they're just as good. But I could give them a pass for this ranking. That's all I'm saying. Cleveland, you're out of your damn mind. Are you kidding me? No, absolutely not. The Chargers, how many times do we have to beat the Chargers before they put us above the Chargers? Okay, so no. I like the Saints. We just looked through their depth chart, and I like the Giants. These two teams are probably a little too low as well. All right, but look at this. Denver, are you kidding me? Like Denver and Cleveland are in the same boat. Like their quarterback's just going to magically figure it out this year? Get out of here. Carolina's pretty high. It's really high. Washington's pretty high. Tampa's pretty high. Man, they are disrespecting Vegas. Yeah, AFC South. I'd love to see that. Love to see that. I mean, that's a bad look. That's a bad look for the AFC South right there. The Rams, I just can't see them being that bad again this year. Sean McVay's too good. The team's too good. Cardinals, again, I mean, I know they don't have Kingsbury anymore, but I think Kyler's pretty good. I think this list is whack. So if they would have put the Jags at 3, 6, 8, if they put the Jags at 8, I could have been like, all right, that's fair. That's fair. No complaints. Not that I'm agreeing with that, but I would have been like, that's fair. 14th is disrespectful. Absolutely disrespectful. After it says the O-line is still questionable for the Bengals. Yeah. How are the Lions? This is from Sauce. How are the Lions, Jets, and Browns above us? Okay, I get the Lions. I really do. The Lions beat us last year. Their team does look good. Like the Lions do look good, and that's the good news is we're actually doing the joint practices week 2 of the preseason up in Detroit. I think that's great. That's good on good, as the coaches call it. That's what we want. We want good players practicing against us. Now, we don't want anyone injured. We don't want any camp fights. The Jags have been good about not having camp fights, so I don't really think that's going to be a problem. But a Dan Campbell coach team, perfect. Perfect situation for joint practices. I miss seeing us have 2 dominant running backs. It keeps each guy fresh. Yeah, I mean, the Jags have had great running backs. I mean, my 2 all-time favorite Jags are Maurice Jones-Drew and Fred Taylor, so I'm with you there. Duval TV says he plays like a bum in the NFL. I got you. I got you, Duval. I got you. There's so many plays that I've seen Shaq gingerly jogging. He never gives 100%. I'm just not a fan of his play, and I'm glad that he's gone, and I'm looking forward to torching him twice. I respect what you said about him, having a family and stuff like that, but this is a business, and he was not producing. I thought that was a well-formulated argument there, Duval TV. This is why I love this channel, right? I pop into channels, other YouTube channels, and nothing against them. And a lot of you guys are in other people's YouTube channels. But nobody critically thinks and has logical... Can you imagine if... Okay, I'm not getting political. Can you imagine if our country talked the way that we talk? We may live on Mars. We may be all sentient AI beings with the big brain abilities that we have around here. Gabriel Ace Vito says Chicago at 21. Yeah, I kind of skipped them, didn't I? I mean, people are big on Justin Fields. They are, and I like Justin Fields. A 2-run home run in the 9th. Let's be careful now. We're only up 3 runs now. Let's be careful. I don't know what to think about the Bears. I don't think they're any good, but I can see. I mean, I don't know. Joey Bosa just slammed the helmets. Yeah, beautiful. I love it. Tank runs like Fred in his tape. He doesn't go down easy. Oh, I'm so pumped for it. I'm so pumped. Ron Beecher says, we are number 14, like Trevor's a tier 6 quarterback. Yeah, you're right. You're right, man. You're right. Listen, I appreciate you guys tonight. I think we're wrapping it up here. Like I said, we got this is my off season. This is my off season coming up in my work. I'm an athletic director, so I grind from August to May. June and July, it's me time. So we're gonna be on here talking a lot. It's gonna get kind of rowdy. That's why I did the other channel, because sometimes I just want to talk about like whatever else. So make sure you subscribe to my other channel, and we're gonna do some fun stuff on there. We'll do some lives on there too. But I appreciate you guys being here. I mean, you guys are awesome. I do this because I love the Jags, and you guys are here because you love the Jags. Rico's Calvin Ridley breakdown. Yeah. Listen. Okay. I'm at a new school, right? I'm an AD, but I specialize in building athletic programs, right? So I like to take programs that are like down, and I like to build them up. And then I move on to another school where they're down, and I build them up. I love it. It's a lot of fun. So I in doing that, like the first couple years with the school, you have to like really put a lot of hours in. Like I've used the term boots on the ground a lot in this show, but like you really do. Like you have to be there to kind of establish the culture that you want, whether you're with your coaches or your athletes or your parents, whatever. So I'm boots on the ground. Like I'm like in the nitty gritty. So that takes a lot of hours, but I love it. And I'm blessed that I get paid to do something like build athletic programs. So it's awesome. The schedule is funky though. The schedule's funky. That's why Christmas, spring break, I'm doing a bunch of shows, and then like in summer, things like that. So follow my Twitch as well, because I'm super excited, and I do stuff on there all the time because I'm a little gamer. I can't help it. I was raised that way. Thank you guys for being here. I want to give a big shout out to Duval TV, who gave a $10 super chat donation. Man, that is so awesome. I really, really appreciate it. Just looking through the comments, a big shout out to all the channel members that were here. Cameron Boisvert, C Breacher. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. All the familiar commenters, you guys know I love you guys as well. Hey, I will see you guys soon in a couple days.